Morning, everybody. I am Catherine Rowley, your lay leader for this Sunday. And of course, we have Laura Mulroy, who will be our speaker. I have, first of all, announcements. The biggest announcement, of course, is that we're having our 70th birthday celebration. And last Sunday, we met to plan that. A lot of people came to the meeting and volunteered to help in a lot of different ways. There's still more help that's needed, so if you would like to volunteer, please see Brenda or Debbie Skirto. It's going to be called, we did a lot of work on last Sunday, it's going to be called Many Beliefs, One Community. That's our slogan. It's going to be Saturday, August 20th from 4 to 8 p.m. And it's going to be an event that will not soon be forgotten. There'll be entertainment. Dawn Moore will be our entertainment. There's going to be food, tacos. There are going to be crafts. There are going to be tons of things. We're going to invite dignitaries from the community, and we will have also a different displays about our history, and displays from each one of our activities and different committees that happen in this congregation. So if it isn't marked on your calendar already, please reserve that time, 4 to 8 p.m., Saturday, August 20th. Then also remind you that we have Taco Tuesdays every Tuesday evening at 7 online. The link is in the announcements. Also, another thing to put on your calendar, we are invited to attend the cluster camp at De Benneville Pines on the weekend of October 14th to 16th. And I know a lot of you love De Benneville Pines, and if you haven't been there, you're about to fall in love if you come. So that is a place that's dear to the hearts of all Unitarian Universalists. Another thing, we have a reminder to be sure and bring goods for the Inland Valley Partners, Hope Partners Beta Center. It's been hard for people, and there is a serious need for food and other toiletries and money, anything that you can donate to their local food pantry. And I want to also remind you that we're looking for a preschool teacher, Sunday school teacher. If you know maybe a high school, upper age high school student who would be interested in a little extra money and loves children and maybe has some experience with babysitting and is willing to learn, please send them our way, either to have them contact me, Catherine Rowley, or contact the office or our Director of Lifespan Religious Education, Robert Tidwell. So it's a beautiful job for somebody who just wants a few hours on Sunday. And with that, I do want to say there are other things going on here, yoga, gathering around grief, other groups. Be sure and look on our website, or be sure to read our announcements. Always a letter from our board of directors is in it, and other things. So with that, let us enter into our time of worship, and we sound the bowl. We sound the bowl 3 times. We sound it once for those who came before. The Tongva people, who were the original stewards of this land and who called it home long ago. We also honor our ancestors and our founding members of this congregation who started it long ago. We ring it once for those of us here and now. For our members, our friends, our visitors, our staff, and our extended UU family, who we hold and we care for as we grow this beloved community. And we ring it for those who will come. For those of us who will come to find us and call us home in their days ahead. Our opening words are by Adrian Rich. My heart is moved by all I cannot save. Hi, Donovan. My heart is moved by all I cannot save. So much has been destroyed. I have cast my lot with those who age after age, perversely, with no extraordinary power, reconstitute the world. And our opening song is a video. It's I Am Willing by Holly Near with the Cascade UU Fellowship. And please feel free to sing along.
I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. There is a hurting in my family, and there is sorrow in my town. There is a panic all across the nation, and there is wailing the whole world round. But I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. May the children see more clearly, and may the elders be more wise. May the winds of change caress us, even though they burn our eyes. But I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. Give me a mighty yoke to hold my confusion, and give me a desert to hold my fears. Give me a sunset to hold my wonder, and give me an ocean to hold my tears. But I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of
One do. I love that song. It's so timeless. Like I always say, the only constant is change. Hi, Donovan. So our chalice lighting today has a responsive aspect to it. So I'm going to read the first part, and then you are all going to read the second part, and it is coming up shortly here. There. Okay. Whoops. Okay. And I'm calling Laura up to do the lighting. We light this chalice as a symbol and a sign of the hope we share, and to rekindle the flame of commitment to work towards a community worthy of being called beloved. And beloved, you may respond. This is yours. We are Unitarian Universalists. We light this chalice in faith, in hope, and in love. Come now and let us worship together. Let us speak our covenant, and for those of us who are in the sanctuary, we often stand for this, and then we immediately following sing a song, and we're going to be singing today, Gather the Spirit. So it's number 347, and the words will be up for us. So you don't really need to open your books. So let us rise in body and or spirit. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve the world in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow in harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other. Forward and get their chalice to take to their classes as we sing them out with the Reeves Children Benediction. And I believe, we have two children to come. So let's get ready to sing them. Can you come and get it? Here I am. Here it is. Donovan, can you come and get this? Here, you guys. Here. Donovan, take this. You're going to take it to your classes. You're going to make sure it fits there. Okay, so we're going to sing you out now, and you get to carry that right down here, like that. How beautiful. Thank you. Let's sing. And now we will take our Sunday morning offering. Your generous support sustains this beloved congregation, and we are always blessed with having some beautiful music while you can either, if you are in the sanctuary, come forward with your offerings, and don't forget if you're online, we have a PayPal button on our website, and there's also snail mail. So let us take this time to open our generous hearts and give to our congregation. That was special, Lily. I don't know what that piece was. Life. Okay. Who is it by? Oh, wow. Is it very nice? Thank you. Okay. It is the time in our service where we share our joys and concerns with each other, and I am remiss for not having reminded you that if you're in the sanctuary, we have you little yellow cards to fill out. I have one, and if you're on, thank you. There you are. If you can put them in chat. So we have from here, we have, I bet, did you put this in, Ellen? I think, okay, Megan Dunbridge, Dunbridge Ward and Sean Ward gave birth to their daughter in July. And Judy Dunbridge is one of our old-time founding members, yes. And so Megan's one of our children gone off to the world. And so not a lot of us know her anymore, but God, thank you. So we wish them well. And I know that we all hold a lot of worry in our heart right now. It's hard not to in such times. So knowing that there are many unexpressed concerns, and probably joys too, and maybe some mixtures, let us take a few minutes to breathe together, relax into a time of meditation, take a breath, close your eyes. And as we are sitting here together, I'm going to take this opportunity to read what is one of my most favorite prayers. So let's take a moment. May our eyes remain open even in the face of tragedy. May we not become disheartened. May we find in the dissolution of our apathy and denial the cup of the broken heart. May we discover the gift of the fire burning in the inner chamber of our being, burning great and bright enough to transform any poison. May we offer the power of our sorrow to the service of something greater than ourselves. May our guilt not rise up to form yet another defensive wall. May the suffering purify and not paralyze us. May we endure. May our sorrow bond us and not separate us. May we realize the greatness of our sorrow and not run from the touch or its flame. May clarity be our ally and wisdom our support. May our wrath be cleansing, cutting through the confusion of denial and greed. May we not be afraid to see or speak our truth. May the bleakness of the wasteland be dispelled. May the soul's journey be revealed and the true hunger fed. May we be forgiven for what we have forgotten and blessed with the remembrance of who we really are. And blessed be, we're together. Thank goodness for our community. And know that if you are suffering, you have people you can reach out to. Don't bear your burdens alone. And so, onward. That, by the way, is from the Terma Collective. It's from a book called Life Prayers from Around the World. And I have, as we go on a reading, I do want to say that this service was designed pretty much by Laura Mulroy, who attended GA online and was really excited about it. And every year we usually do a service about what has happened at GA, what's the new information, and just the energy that comes from it is so wonderful. So I'm going to read an excerpt from our UUA president, Reverend Susan Frederick Gray, who gave a message at General Assembly. And it's just an excerpt, and if you want to see the whole thing, I recommend you go online. And if you do go online, you could spend a long time there because there's a lot of videos of GA, of the different meetings, of the worship services, of selected classes, I guess, and events that happened. So it was really exciting, right? I wish I had been there. Even online, I was not. So we thank Laura. And this is the message. Who will we be? How are we called? How is love calling us? For 5 years now, I have said, it is no time for a casual faith, and it is no time to go it alone. Now is the time to realize that we were made for this moment, that we are the people we have been waiting for. Now is the time to take more seriously the life-saving ministry of our religious communities and our religious education ministry. To invest boldly and generously in our own congregations as a strong foundation for people to heal, to grow, and to resist. To lean into covenant and collaboration across our congregations, to help all our congregations to thrive. To practice deeper solidarity and partnership with directly impacted communities for liberation and to create more joy. To create more joy and more celebration, knowing that this is the source of power, of resilience, and of the imagination that we all need, that our world needs. We were meant for joy. We were meant for joy, and joy feels like love, and love moves like freedom. We were made for this moment. We are the people we have been waiting for. May we be the people that we are called to be. And with that, we have a song, and this song was played at GA, correct? It's Glory by John Legend, and he has features common, but this is done by the UUA General Assembly BIPOC chorus. So enjoy. It's maybe different for some of you. welcome up to this pulpit Laura Mulroy, longtime congregant.
Thank you, Catherine. Good morning. It's wonderful to be here with all of you in person and on Zoom. 2 Sundays ago, I worshiped virtually with several thousand other UUs, some on site in Portland, Oregon, some watching with their congregations, and others at home on the living room couch, like me and my husband, Sean. Many of us there had just spent 4 days in community at our denomination's annual General Assembly, listening, learning, and voting on business items, feeling at times challenged, consoled, and inspired. This was my 5th time attending the Unitarian Universalist Association's General Assembly, better known as GA. I've attended in person and online, and each GA leaves me feeling a deeper connection to our faith and a stronger motivation to engage with our congregation and with our denomination. The feeling of connection came in part from just being among so many fellow UUs. It's easy to forget sometimes that there are congregations and fellowships all across the U.S. and even in some other parts of the world who gather, like we do, to worship, learn, and live our faith in fellowship. Connection to fellow UUs seemed particularly important this year. This year, GA coincided with the announcement that the Supreme Court had voted to overturn Roe v. Wade. I attended the daily worship service that day, titled "The Radical Message of Jesus Today, Needing Consolation and Community," which I found. One of the speakers acknowledged that in the fight for reproductive justice, there is much work to do. But she said, before work comes lamentation and rage, and before lamentation comes prayer. And then together we prayed for ourselves, for one another, and for our broken and bruised country. And I felt relieved and inspired. I always leave GA feeling inspired in different ways in different years. And I encourage all of you to attend someday, online if not in person. GA is always held at the end of June, rotating through different parts of the country. At my first GA in Long Beach, almost 20 years ago, I attended a workshop on children's religious education, and I came home inspired to get more involved in our RE program. In 2007, I attended in person in New Orleans, where I saw Brian Stevenson speak, and I came home hoping to introduce anti-racism topics to our brand new adult RE program. Last year, I learned about a form of worship called dinner church, and I hope someday in a post-COVID world, we can enjoy a multi-generational service together where we share a meal, perhaps brunch church, while worshiping together. I also served as a delegate last year and was very happy and proud to vote to change the rules so that from now on, including this year, anyone can attend the business meetings of our General Assembly for no charge. That's a big change. It used to be limited to people who could pay the registration, so it's a big, important change that anyone can be involved in the business portion of our meetings. As always, this year I had a hard time deciding which workshops and services to go to. Luckily, many programs are available for attendees on demand, and I'm still going to watch some of them. There's one on ancestral wisdom and climate justice I still want to watch, one on learning to UU the vote, and a talk called Beloved Community, MLK and Democratic Socialism. At each GA, a distinguished speaker is invited to give what is called the Where Lecture. This year, I watched a conversation between Ibram X. Kendi, the author of How to Be an Anti-Racist, and our denomination's president, the Reverend Susan Frederick Gray. I am now planning to read all of his works, and I believe we all should. I also viewed a very useful website called Blueprint for Successful Climate and Justice Teams, and I'll be sharing what I learned with our Justice Coordinating Committee. I learned about sociocracy, which is governing with equivalence, effectiveness, and transparency. The workshop leaders reminded us to listen to all voices, not just the loudest, and suggested making all decisions by consent, not majority rule. I attended a variety of worship services, and some of the music and readings from today are drawn from those different services. And as our congregation's delegate to the GA, I attended every minute of the business meetings. At those business meetings, I learned about an important project that makes me feel energized and hopeful about our denomination's future. This project is formally known as the Article II Study Commission. As an organization, the UUA is governed by bylaws. Now, as some of you know, last year I was part of a team that rewrote MVUUC's bylaws. So when I saw that the business meetings, or general sessions, would focus on a review and possible rewrite of part of the UUA's bylaws, I, unlike perhaps some delegates, thought, oh, how interesting. Article 2 is the section of the UU bylaws that includes our principles and sources, the UUA's purpose, as well as an inclusion clause and a freedom of belief clause. Article 2 of our bylaws describe our congregation's purpose and affirm MVUUC's support of the UUA's principle and purposes. One of the GA speakers pointed out that the study commission really should have been named the Radical Reimagination of Our Faith Action Team, and I agree. Our denomination is asking, who are we called to be? And the study commission action team is working now to define and articulate the answer. The team began work in the fall of 2020. I'd like to share with you part of the charge to the commission that was given by our UUA Board of Trustees. The Article 2 Study Commission is hereby charged to review Article 2 of the UUA bylaws and propose any revisions that will enable our UUA, our member congregations, and our covenanted communities to be a relevant and powerful force for spiritual and moral growth, healing, and justice. Proposed changes should articulate core UU theological values. The board believes that one core theological value shared widely among UUs is love. Our commitment to personal, institutional, and cultural change rooted in anti-oppression, anti-racism, and multiculturalism values and practices is love in action and should be centered in any revision of Article 2. The new principles and purposes should guide us in the transformation of ourselves, our communities, and our faith into active networks of collective care, restoration, and justice. The Commission is instructed to include in its considerations and deliberations the clear call at GA 2017 for the inclusion of another, an eighth principle, explicitly calling us to be committed to active anti-racism work. And we also note there is a growing urging for us to better articulate our recognition of rights of being for all beings. Well, what might these changes to our principles and purposes mean to us here at MVUUC? We are not a creedal religion, but as UUs, we do covenant to affirm and promote the current 7 principles, which are printed on the back of your orders of service. As one speaker noted, these 7 principles serve as a starting point for learning, a catalyst for individuals to ground our own ethics, and a common language for us to help us understand one another. I carry a card in my wallet with those 7 principles. I've taught RE classes about the 7 principles and led children's worship services about the 7 principles. I'm pretty sure our 2 adult daughters could still sing you the 7 principles song to the tune of Do Re Mi. So why did I feel excited to learn that our principles and purposes are being reviewed and revised, perhaps radically? After all, as one speaker pointed out, the principles aren't broken. They're not broken, they are missing important pieces. They are missing verbs, and we are hungry for obligation. This statement resonated with me. The current language of our principles calls us to affirm what we believe, but there is no explicit call to action in them. So, how might the new Article 2 incorporate verbs and obligation? One of the commission members, the Reverend Cheryl M. Walker, introduced the team's approach by pointing out, the reason we are members of congregations are not because we are like-minded people. We are like-valued people. We share values. But what exactly are our values? Well, the answer to that question is a work in progress, not even yet an official draft. But I'd like to share with you now the possible answers the Commission is considering. Joris, we have one slide with those 7 values. Well, I can read them to you while he's putting up the slide. The first one listed is love, interdependence, equity, generosity, justice, evolution, and pluralism, and diversity. Once our denomination agrees on our values, then we add the verbs. We covenant to act in support of our values. And here's a couple of examples of what this could mean. We might say that because we value equity, we covenant to use our resources of time, wisdom, attention, and money to make our communities fully accessible, equitable, and free. We understand that liberation is only possible when we embrace our differences. Another example, because we value interdependence, we covenant to work to understand our place in the web of existence. We know a sustainable environment is essential to all life. We will deepen and grow our connections with UUs around the globe, called into responsibility to heal the human community and support sustainable environments. I encourage all of you to review this list of values and consider how you might fill in the blank. Because we value a value, we covenant to take action. What do you value? Which actions would you promise to take? It's not just the principles that are being reviewed. Article 2 currently lists 6 sources of our living tradition. In abridged form, they are direct experience of transcending mystery and wonder, words and deeds of prophetic people, wisdom from the world's religions, Jewish and Christian teachings, humanist teachings, and spiritual teachings of earth-centered traditions. To quote the board again in its charge on the sources, there is a tension in our current sources. The benefit of a list format is that we can name specific historical and contemporary influences. But the cost of a list format is that in our ever-evolving faith, we will always and forever be leaving someone or something out. Rather than a list of sources, a proposed draft text seeks to define our inspirations. And here is the current draft language. As Unitarian Universalists, we draw upon and are inspired by the full depth and breadth of sacred understandings as experienced by humanity. Grateful for the religious pluralism which enriches our faith, we are inspired to ever deepen and expand our wisdom. Now, the things I've shared with you today, the draft values and inspirations, are at this point only examples of the direction the study commission may take. But they're fairly far along in the process. The next step will be for this commission to present its recommendations to the UUA Board of Trustees no later than January 2023. After that, the recommendations would be placed on the 2023 General Assembly business agenda for the first vote. And if this first vote passes, we would all spend a year studying these recommendations with a final vote of approval at the GA in June of 2024. I encourage all of you to go to the Article 2 Study Commission's website. It's at uua.org/A2SC to learn more about this important work. If some of you are interested in further discussing these Article 2 revisions, we could hold discussion groups in the fall through our Lifespan Religious Exploration program. Being willing and able to re-examine and reimagine our beliefs, our values, and our commitment to action is a radical step for a religion to take. And I'm grateful to be part of a religious community willing to be bold and open to change. I'd like to close with the words of our president, the Reverend Susan Frederick Gray. We are in the churn of change. Systems and practices that we've relied on are breaking down and shifting, while what is needed is being imagined but not yet here. In times of change and loss and uncertainty, there is a risk that fear will dominate and cause us to cling to the status quo, and systems that no longer serve us just for a feeling of the certainty they give and the fear of moving into the liminal more fully. But let us remember that we are not a people of fear. We are a people of faith. We are a religious people of imagination and possibility. We are a living tradition.
My mask. Well, we have another song video. And we've played it before actually quite a while. I think it's a UU Vote event video. It's called We Shall Be Known. It's written by Ma Muse, but it's done by the How We Thrive virtual choir for a UU Vote event. And the words, you should feel free to sing out along with it. Hear me? So Laura's going to read our benediction.
Our benediction is from the Reverend Alice Blair Wesley with an adaptation of the Covenant of the Pilgrim. We pledge to walk and move together in the ways of truth and affection, as best we know them now or may learn them in days to come, that we and our children may be fulfilled and that we may speak to the world in words and actions of peace and goodwill.
Thank you. And if you would stay and extinguish our chalices. Yes. So with this together, we will say our chalice extinguishing words and then hear a beautiful postlude. And the message here, in case you wondered, we are a big, powerful, amazing denomination with power to change the world. So we are not just a little bunch of isolated people that come to Monte Vista. We're connected to a huge network of amazing people doing amazing things, and we're part of it. So thank you, Laura, so much. And we extinguish this flame, but you could say with me, we extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we're together again. And blessed be.